Welcome in, everyone. I'm SquishableMoon, your shooting star alien VTuber with a ranch addiction and fewer brain cells than the common garden snail. And today I am going to be showing you how I make my characters, or how I make my adopts. I know quite a lot of people like how I design my characters, though I'm not the best at it yet. I like to think that I know a little bit of what I'm talking about, though I'm still growing every day. I still want to share my stuff with you guys because you like when I make this kind of content, and I want to make stuff that you guys like. With that being said, if you guys want me to make more content showing you how I draw or how I make content or how I design stuff, let me know in the comments with a like and comment, and I'll be sure to make that for you guys. Let's get into the video. The part that I always focus on first is going to be aesthetic. I always start with aesthetics first because then I know what I'm going to create. Usually I have kind of a vibe or an idea of what I want, and the easiest way is to find aesthetics and maybe make an aesthetic board or save a couple images that are kind of the vibe of what you're wanting. I really like using Pinterest for this because I can save things to boards so I can make aesthetic boards since I use a lot of the same aesthetics. I prefer candy core aesthetics or kid core aesthetics or ethereal aesthetics, things that are like princessy, cute, maybe fantasy related. Those are the kind of aesthetics I go for, so I have a couple boards for that. But you can also go for other aesthetics like cottagecore or vintage or the 80s. Anything that you want you can probably find on Pinterest. Just type in the object that you want and aesthetic afterwards, and usually you can find what you're looking for. Now, I like to start with aesthetics because it helps give you a general theme of what you're going to be working with. Open those up in the program you're going to be using, and you can kind of get what vibe you're going to be wanting. Of course, Pinterest isn't the only place you can get your inspiration from. You can get it straight off Google, you can go to DeviantArt, you can go to Toy House, you can go to Facebook, Twitter, wherever you like to get your inspiration from, go there. Obviously, make sure people allow you to take inspiration from things if you're going to be taking inspiration from other people's OCs. While I understand a lot of people see it as flattering, you gotta make sure that the artists themselves are okay with it because it can be seen as a little rude to take inspiration from other people's characters if it looks too close. Another good thing with starting with your aesthetic first is color palette. The next thing you're going to want to do is find a color palette that you're going to want, and with your aesthetic already set in stone, you are able to get your colors very easily. What I like to do is I like to take the aesthetic images that I find from Pinterest or Google or where have you, and I like to take my dropper brush and color pick the images to get my colors. This is a really great way to get maybe colors you don't normally use. I know that I tend to use a lot of the same colors, a lot of pinks, a lot of purples, but this way you get kind of more colors than you would normally use, which I really like. The next thing you're going to want to work on is maybe start thinking about what species of pony you are going to want. You're going to want to start thinking, do you want a Kirin OC? Do you want a dragon OC? Do you want just a regular earth pony? Do you want a unicorn, a pegasi, or alicorn? Start thinking about what you're going to want to make. Of course, this can change later on during the design phase, but I like to think of what I might want because I'm big into making alicorn OCs. Alicorns are probably my favorite OC to make just because you get best of both worlds. You get a horn for magic and you get wings. I've been a fan of alicorns before I knew the term alicorn. When I was little, I used to have a bunch of posters of things that I called pegacorns. You know, horses with wings and horns. I still have a bunch of posters of that. But I've loved them ever since I was a kid, and I'm not just gonna stop loving pegacorns and alicorns just because some people think they're OP. As you can see, I used Pinterest to find my inspiration. I knew that I wanted to go with kidcore because I absolutely love the kidcore aesthetic. and I ended up going with crayons. I filtered through, I looked, there were a lot of beads, a lot of smiley faces, a lot of rainbows, a lot of color, plenty of cute outfits. But something that really got me nostalgic was a crayon box. You know, the 24 crayons that you get from Crayola, I think we've all played with at one point in our lives. And I can still remember the smell of opening a new box of crayons, and I still love crayons to this day. Before I was a digital artist, I was of course a traditional artist, and I used to use crayons all the time. Side tangent really quick, do you guys remember those push-up crayons? They kind of looked like color pencils. They were like a long stick, but they had like crayon inside them, and you had to twist the bottom. You know, I'll put an image on screen of what I'm talking about, but you would have to push it up and it would be like a color pencil crayon. Those used to make me feel like such an artist. I cannot tell you how much I loved those. I was talking about this with my friend, and we were like, yes, we need more of that. I definitely need more of that. I need more crayons. And one day I would love to do a hand cam stream where I color in a coloring book, because I want to go back to child roots. I want to be a child again, okay? I am tired of being an adult. I want to go back. So like I said, I picked crayons. So what I did is I took a couple of images of crayon boxes and dropped them into my program, and it gave me an idea of what I'd want. Now, when you're picking your aesthetic and you're getting your colors, it is important to remember that it's totally fine to change those colors to your likes. I'm definitely not somebody who likes using a lot of saturated colors unless it's for a specific point. I usually pick a certain place on my design to use saturated colors. But of course, before we get into putting colors on the character, we need to kind of design the character a little bit first. You know, I'm going to be using, that you can see, a base that I got off of DeviantArt by, I believe, Dreamy Bay. Bases are a great way for people to just design a character if they don't want to spend 1,000 years working on pony anatomy. I know I have trouble drawing ponies sometimes. As everyone knows, I am not the best artist. So bases are a great way to just let your creativity fly and just have a little fun instead of stressing over all of the little tiny details it takes to make an art piece. I also think it's important to show that even if you can't draw pony anatomy very well, or anatomy in general, you can still draw, even if it's what people think isn't necessarily good. I believe all art should be out there to be loved and to be seen, as long as the artist is okay with it. So with that being said, I chose a base to show that newer artist, old artist, we can all use bases from time to time just to have a little fun. So I took a base and I started doodling what I wanted over it. Now, during the doodle phase, do not worry how bad it looks. My sketches always look absolutely disgusting. They are a mess. They are awful. Just have fun with it, because I love sketching. It is the funnest part of art to me, is blocking in what you are going to be making, and I definitely had fun. Now, originally, I really wanted her hair to be crayons. I thought it would be so cute if her hair was just a bunch of crayons tied to her head, kind of like hair. But I ended up changing it because I wasn't confident in my ability to draw crayons correctly as hair. I do kind of regret it. If I could go back, I would probably turn her hair into crayons. But I still like what I ended up going with. Instead of going with crayons, I blocked off her hair how I was going to do the crayons. And I kind of turned it into a poofy hairstyle, which I still think matches the crayon vibe. The thing that I really wanted was to capture all of the colors that a 24 box of crayons had to offer. They have a bunch of variety in colors. They have a bunch of crayon packs. Crayola is really great in the fact that they have so many options for crayons. They have pastels, they have colored pencils, they have markers. I feel like they have anything that you want. They probably have it if you want it. Like, they have everything, and I love Crayola. That being said, I'm still very happy with how the hair was looking, and I decided that I was gonna go with this hairstyle to show off all of the mini colors that a crayon box would have. Another thing to think about when creating a character is obviously name. Now, I'm going to be a basic person and I am just going to name this character Crayola Crayons because I think it would be cute to make a brand pony. Now, obviously, I would never sell this pony. I would probably never give it away to someone. It'll probably just be a random OC or random character I made because I wanted it to represent Crayola Crayon boxes. So it's not going to be anyone's pony. It would belong probably to the people who made Crayola Crayons. But I'm naming her Crayola Crayons because I feel like that is the best fit name for her. Obviously, she is a crayon-themed pony. Of course, her name has to be Crayons. I also feel like a name could change what a character looks like. Depending on their name, you may want to add more stuff. I named the character after I created her because I felt like it fit her really well, so I didn't see a need to really change it. But later on, if you have to change your character's name, don't be too upset about it. Sometimes names just don't fit a character the same way in our head that it fits on paper. There's no shame in that. It's totally fine to change a name. Another thing that is good to think of when you're creating a character is backstory. Now, I wasn't super sure what I wanted to do for her backstory, mainly because she was based off of a brand. I ended up coming up with the backstory that she is a very tiny pony. Now, when you think about My Little Pony, they are little ponies. They are very small. But when I say a tiny pony, I mean a tiny pony. She is about the size of a pony that would fit in the palm of your hand. She is probably only like 3 to 4 inches tall, and she is a micro pony. So she is very tiny. And why did I make her that tiny? I felt like it would be cute for a childish character to just be really small, to be pocket-sized, or to be about the size of a crayon box herself, so that way when she carries the crayon box, it looks really cute. So she's about the size of a Crayola Crayons box. I think that's really cute. And I did end up making it to where she can draw with the crayons. She just has to use like her whole body. As you can see, I also ended up going with Earth Pony. Originally, I did want to make Alicorn, but I felt like everyone could kind of fall in love with an Earth Pony again because Earth Ponies don't get as much love, I feel like, on my channel. And I really like Earth Ponies. I think they're really cool. I feel like they get the short end of the stick sometimes. But I really wanted to do an Earth Pony because I felt like it matched the box. Also, that way the wings don't kind of hide the cutie mark because I wanted the cutie mark to be present. As for the colors, you can see I color picked off of the crayon box. I ended up going with a rainbow for her hair, yellow for her skin, and the green for her hooves and eyes. I really wanted to give her markings, kind of like how the box has markings for Crayola crayons, but I ended up going a little bit less because sometimes less is more in design. I also didn't use the super saturated yellow that is the box color because then it would be way too much saturation for her skin and her hair to be saturated. Sometimes it's better to pick one over the other, so I made her skin a closer yellow to Fluttershy, and then I gave her hair a more saturated color so that way I could use the colors of crayons, and I think it came out pretty cute. Another thing that you can use to set your character apart and make her or them more unique is clothing elements. Now, I didn't really want to give her clothes, or at least the clothes that I wanted to give her, I felt like, I don't know, have been done a bunch before. I kind of wanted to give her like the rainbow shirt with the overalls. I may draw her in the future with that because I feel like the kidcore aesthetic with clothes hits so freaking hard. It is drip, absolute drip, and I love it so much. And although I wanted to give her clothes, I didn't want to cover up all of her skin, or I mean her fur, skin, what the heck? I didn't want to cover up all her fur and hide her really pretty yellow skin. Fur. Oh my god. So instead of giving her clothes, I gave her a bracelet. Now on some of the crayon boxes, they'll have like little symbols. And on the crayon box that I was getting my inspiration from, it had a sun. So I ended up giving her a sun bracelet, just kind of to tie in the whole crayon box element. I think she came out really, really cute. I absolutely love her. I love Crayola crayons, and I had so much fun making this character. I definitely want to turn more brands into ponies, or maybe even furries. Yes, that's right. I draw everything. I draw furries, I draw ponies, and I draw humans. I am a triple threat. I am coming for the artist community. As soon as I can draw hands, it is over for you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I still can't draw hands. If that part's not a joke. I can't draw hands. They're nubs. They're Adventure Time nub hands, okay? But yeah, I had so much fun doing this. If you guys had fun watching me draw this, make sure to give me a like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys so very much. With that being said, thank you for watching. I hope all your dreams come true. Bye-bye.